Good morning. We are at MultiChoice City this morning. I'm going to be participating in conversations with a mentor for MultiChoice Talent Factory. What are some of the big challenges that you faced?
Yeah, I hate to sound like an angry lesbian, but men, that has been
I'm sorry, that's hilarious.
the thing about working in this industry. It doesn't stay in quiet. It's like it spreads. So as good as your last job, just be good to people. Work with everyone. Respect everybody, even the person who's working at catering. Thank you, little Lily. Thank you so much.
As we say, that's a wrap. Good morning. We are at MultiChoice City this morning. I am going to be participating in conversations with a mentor for MultiChoice Talent Factory, which is where Black Swan gets a lot of its interns from. My assistant was with Talent Factory. Sorry, I dropped my cards. It's a slow morning. I'm very tired at the moment. And I'm still waking up. The caffeine has not done its thing yet. But at least we've got cue cards, and I'm looking forward to talking about the industry and what we can do to just grow, improve. And I've been mentoring people for many years, so it just seems like an easy yes to come and do something like this. So we're gonna go into makeup, and then at some point we shoot. So stick around.
My name is Coco Koza, MTMZA alumni 2019.
Hey everybody, I'm Relebogile Maboja. I'm an executive producer and all-round media girl.
And welcome to Conversations with the Mentor, everybody.
Welcome to it. So Coco, I mean, tell me a little bit about you. You're an alumni, but what have you done since?
Yeah, I need to grab my CV. Okay, after the alumni, obviously, literally we went into COVID, literally the year we were supposed to graduate. So that was a bit tricky. But then after level 5, anyone could come back and travel. Jumped onto like this small American production that we're shooting this side in Joburg. Um, then went on to Legacy. From Legacy, I did the Shafters. I did DSTV Awards. I've done a short film. I did about 3 commercials. I did Kings of Joburg and Marriage Season 3. Yo, Unstoppable, yeah, where Unstoppable Saburi, I content produced Season 2. Season 1, I production managed. Um, yeah, then just did a show that's airing next week. And then now I'm on Children of Blood and Bone. Yeah, and I've moved to Cape Town.
That's a lot for like a recent alumni. That's quite a lot. I think for the purposes of this conversation, I will stick to my behind the camera journey, which is, I started as a production assistant at Red Pepper Pictures, straight out of school, and I worked my way up. So I've worked on projects for Channel O. I've worked on projects for SABC. I produced Afro Cafe for a few years, a business show for ETV. I was an executive producer for an international format called Single Wives. I was a music director for the remix and for Afro Cafe as well. And fast forward to some of my recent work, producing Miss South Africa, producing The Safters, and now we just produced Showmax's very first live stream concert with Tyler.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I sent you my CV after. or interview.
Send your CV, ma'am. We are we are
You need somebody in production. I got you, son.
I listen, I'm glad that you're saying that because people that have worked with me know how much I'm all on the bandwagon for women. Like if you ever walk into any of my production offices, like my business partner ends up being the only man in the room. But yes, I'm all about women of color just showing up in
Yes, please.
spaces.
Yes, please.
Right,
Yes, please.
right. So, Coco, who have you been like looking up to in the industry? And I'm sure that's changed from the time that you were, at the MultiChoice Talent Factory to now being in the business, having worked directly with people.
Um, Internationally, definitely Ava DuVernay. I want to be a writer, like not like her. For me, I remember when I was in the academy, there was a commissioning editor at the time. Her name was Wanda.
Mm.
She was like, "Why are you guys writing about divorce and writing about poverty and all these things as if you've gone through it?" And she's like, "Write about your experience." I'm a huge Disney fan. I even have a tattoo of Mickey Mouse on my neck.
Wow.
So for me, like everything has always been a fantasy. So I always try to writes what's real, but also find like the fantasy in it or romanticize it or some type of way. And that's what I realized about Ava DuVernay. She writes real stories. It's tough, it's hard, but the messaging is there. She's just great. She's just amazing. Then in South Africa, I don't know if a lot of people know her. She was my writing lecturer, Lady Bukhatri. She really inspires me a lot.
Mm.
I didn't know much about the South African industry while I was still at school. Obviously, I was just focused on Hollywood. Hollywood does, Hollywood dads. That's what they're doing in America. That's what they're doing in London. So they're doing like, like,
Yeah.
but I never actually focused on about like what we do, how we doing it. And then so she kind of opened her mind that whenever we'd write essays, she'd be like, I don't want essays on the Matrix. I want to write an essay about a movie that is South African, follow South African writers, follow South African directors, and then so that you see what we're trying to produce in this country. So those are my two, yeah, I can say those are the people who 100% inspired me.
Okay, so I'm curious just like about your career growth. Like, what are some of the big challenges that you faced in the industry over the past couple of years? And then for us to remain positive, like, what are the opportunities that you've seen? Because it isn't all bad.
Yeah. I hate to sound like an angry lesbian, but men, that has been my
I'm sorry, that's hilarious.
But honestly, my biggest challenge in my career journey has been men. I'm not going to lie. It's
Really?
honestly been men. I've been challenged by men, more especially like when you get promoted. Then it's like, oh, I remember when I just started my first PMing job, and then there was a guy who was working there on that job. But we had worked with each other previously before,
Yeah.
and at that time he had just known me as a second AD. So then he's like, "Why are you a production manager? How's that even possible?" I'm like, "Well, here I am." So we're doing this. It's just but men have been my biggest hurdle, and then just knowing when to have a voice and not knowing when to, it's very tricky. And I joined Swift very, very early on. So I think being a part of Swift helped for me to be able to voice something that were happening around me. And I didn't know how to say it with the fear of I'm not going to get hired again. If I complain about this, they're not going to hire me because now I'm
Yeah.
labeled as a problem.
In terms of like longevity, how have you been able to still be in the game? Because we know how this industry can be. How is it that, you graduated and years later you've worked on all these projects? What is so special that you are doing, and what are you going to keep doing to keep you doing this? Um, I always have this thing that you're as good as your last job. Um, as much as like I keep saying I'm gonna send you my CV, my CV is gonna have 20 million jobs or whatever, but if whatever experience I left on set and they didn't enjoy it, best believe somebody else is gonna know about it. There's no it that's the thing about working in this industry. It doesn't stay it quiet. It's like it's spread. So as good as your last job, just be good to people.
work with everyone, respect everybody, even the person who's working at catering and the person who's doing it's just because they're not technically part of the creative side. Respect everybody. I literally got my first paying job because the catering lady noticed that I wasn't on set, and then they were struggling on set that day. And then she was like, "Where's the little girl who was running around?" Then
What?
they were like, literally. And then they were like, "Coco, can you come back?" Because they were like, "No, we're moving on because we're shooting on studio." Then they were like, "No, we're gonna shoot on location. The budget is not there. We can't be able to whatever, whatever, and it's far and transport." Because at the time I wasn't getting paid. I was like, I just want to get set experience. And then literally I was there for like 3 weeks. Then they went to location. Literally 2 days after they were on location, they're like, "Please, can you come back? We need you." And that's because I
Wow.
was nice to the catering lady. I was nice to everyone. I made sure that I showed myself and I was presenting myself. And that's how I got my first pink job. They were like, "No, dude, please come back." And that's how I was the third AD for the first time.
And years later, you've worked on all these projects. What is so special that you are doing, and what are you going to keep doing to keep you doing this?
Um, I always have this thing that you're as good as your last job. Um, and as much as like I keep saying I'm gonna send you my CV is gonna have 20 million jobs or whatever, but if whatever experience I left on set and they didn't enjoy it, best believe somebody else is gonna know about it. There's no it. That's the thing about working in this industry. It doesn't stay it quiet. It's like it spreads. So as good as your last job, just be good to people. Work with everyone. Respect everybody, even the person who's working at catering and the person who's doing units. Just because they're not technically part of the creative side,
Mm.
respect everybody. I literally got my first paying job because the catering lady noticed that I wasn't on set, and then they were struggling on set that day. And then she was like, "Where's the little girl who was running around?" Then they called me.
What?
They were like, literally. And then they were like, "Coco, can you come back?" Because they were like, "No, we're moving on to because we're shooting on studio." Then they were like, "No, we're gonna shoot on location. The budget is not there. We can't be able to whatever, whatever, and it's far and transport." Because at the time I wasn't getting paid. I was like, I just want to get set experience. And then literally I was there for like 3 weeks. And then they went to location. Literally 2 days after they were on location, they're like, "Please, can you come back? We need you." And that's because I
Wow.
was nice to the catering lady. I was nice to everyone. I made sure that I showed myself and I was presenting myself, and that's how I got my first paying job. They were like, "No, dude, please come back." And that's how I was the third AD for the first time.
My goodness.
So you're as good as your last job. Make
And you
sure
never
you
know.
even
That's why
appreciate.
you must never like think because a person is nice to you as a producer that they're nice to everybody. So that
Exactly.
feedback is so important. I so love you mentioning that. Okay, when we think about um, just kind of like the evolution of film and TV over the past decade, um, in relation to storytelling, would you say it is going in a way that's like super positive and innovative from what you are seeing?
100%. I just think we just don't have a big enough platform, although we should, but we don't somehow. I definitely think that story-wise, we're getting much better. We're not like in the beginning, it was always black people are struggling on TV, and it's like not all black people are struggling, guys. Sometimes it's just um, there's more representation as well, and so, like it's becoming more. I think the one thing that they always say at Channel and Zanzi more specifically is that think about when you're sitting in that a black household that has one TV set. You have a child who's 16, someone who's 8, your mother who's 50 something, your grandmother who's 80 something. You're all sitting in one room. You need to create something that's going to communicate for everyone sitting together at that time because they don't have the pleasures of having 7 different televisions. And that's helped because now they're watching shows where there's probably like a gay person. Then it makes it easier to have a maybe like to have a conversation in the family to make those things away.
Mm.
Like mental illness thing, like mental health. Like that's important. Like especially with the 2000, they're very vocal about it. And I'm envious of that because I wish that I was able to speak about my depression at home. But everyone was like, yes, sister, we are feed us to leading our food. Like I'm like, no, dude, other things
But oh
are
lazy
hurting me on the
babes.
inside.
But oh lazy.
Exactly. Other things are hitting me inside. Like so, but like now, like I'm so happy about storytelling. It's going in so many different directions. And also, you're a country that has 12 official languages, which means we have I don't know how many tribes we have. We've got Zulu people, we've got Xhosas,
Wow.
Tswanas. We have so many. We have there's so much story in that. I want to learn more, but when I watched Outlaws, I was like, okay, now I'm learning about the Sutu people. I'm learning a bit more. I'm understanding
Mm.
this happens there. I'm learning so much. I think I learned so much from Umubango, when I was still growing up, when I understood about the vendor culture. I didn't.
Yes.
I'm a kid who's growing up in KZN. I don't know about the outside world. Then I come to Joburg and I meet different people. So that's what I love about South Africa. Is that it has everything. You have your yonke into. Like it's beautiful and it's definitely evolving. It's changing. More black people being more prolific. They're owning. You're seeing black people in powerful positions. It's not just it's not like a simulation of white culture. It's what's actually happening. It's portraying what this country actually is now, which is great. And I think we're better than America, to be quite honest, because America just keeps recycling stuff. The Lion King 7, Lion King Live, Lion King Not Live, Lion King AI. They keep repeating the same stuff.
No, I hear you. I hear you. And I think also what for me I'm loving about storytelling is how we are the generation that is redefining the concept of broken families. And what I mean by that is anything that was not a mom and a dad and a child in a household was a broken family. Now you can have a single mom with her two kids, and it's not a broken picture. It is, we
Yes.
are showing that there are different types of families that are also families. They are not broken. They are beautiful. They have showed up. Maybe the people that left those families are broken if people left. But I love how storytelling has evolved to a point where family has so many different versions of what that can look like. Oh my gosh, you're making me squeeze in one more. The one more I'm squeezing in. Stay up to date. That means with the content that's being produced out there. That means with the news. That means with what people are watching, what people are talking about. Stay up to date. And sometimes as creatives, we want to isolate and switch off so that we ensure our ideas are actually original. But never let that be a reason to not know what's happening around you. Art is supposed to reflect the times. Art in itself is political. That's how influential it is. So I would just wrap up by saying, stay up to date with what is. Art is the most beautiful platform that will allow us to actually change the world.
Percent. Beautiful. Thank you, Lupile. Thank you so much.
As we say, that's a wrap. So we are done. It's 10:30 and we are wrapped. And I'm gonna take my hair off and my makeup off. But that was so fun, such a fun conversation. And MultiChoice, I mean, is my client in different parts of the business, be it the eventing side, like internal, we've done the Long Service Awards, we work with Showmax, we work with the other broadcasts as well, like Mzansi Magic. And today was fun, man. If ever we can just continue passing down the baton to other people, that's the only way the industry is gonna grow. So that was fun. Thanks for tuning in.